Welcome to Drum and Drummer, a podcast focused on drums, drumming and drummers. I'm George Pickering and that's Ben Winty, and we are both professional drummers in this business we call music. So stick around and join us as we pass the time whilst trying to stay in time.
Legs.
Legs is the best. That's from your teaching days. Legs. Good morning.
No way
Right.
you're doing anything cryptic. You right?
Well,
Or are you?
Yeah, keep thinking.
Okay,
Keep
that was
your eyes
good.
and
if you're
your
doing the
ears
same thing.
peeled.
Oh,
Yeah.
for fuck.
Nah.
Eyes?
Who knows? Who
Oh,
knows?
my God.
Maybe there's clues scattered around the... Nah.
Flamingo?
Flamingo,
Just
yeah.
seeing what's in your background.
Just
Just
email
have
words.
something
People just emailing random words. Flamingo. No.
No, stop. He can't even see the Zoom call. I don't know where you got
Oh,
Flamingo.
yeah, I don't know what... Yeah. Well, you will, because you need to start putting clips on the old reels, isn't it?
Yep, big time. Thank you, Connor, for that recommendation.
Yeah. Well, it's something we know. We got you got to.
Yeah.
It's all about that, isn't it? It's not about the content anymore, like the quality of the content. It's just you got to do shit that ain't. It's not what you signed up for. Do you know what I mean?
It's
We're
a bit
all
like,
social media managers.
Yeah, it's a bit like when we talked about when bands nowadays go to studios and will record TikToks rather than writing songs. You
Rather
know?
than actually learn how to tune a guitar.
Yeah, and they don't want to
Yeah.
do it. Yeah, and they don't want to do TikToks, but they gotta do it, which is sad,
do it.
really.
Yeah. You know, you got to play the game, and if you don't want to play, fuck off, innit?
If you don't want to play,
Then you can't moan.
be really, really good, because then
You'll
you
be
can
really
probably
good.
like,
I think
really
that's.
good.
I just think that in general is something people forget in loads
Yeah.
of things. Loads of things is get really good. Get really good. Don't let. Do you know what I mean? Don't get covered up. Oh, can you know, or record it? Yeah. Well, if you get good, it will sound good. Get good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
The mix doesn't sound good. Yeah, it's not me. It's
I'm
you.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're shit.
Yeah.
So that's why you don't sound like your favourite band, because they got good
Yeah.
and you've
yeah.
not got good.
Oh, they never play to click track. Yeah, because they could all play in time really well. They could all keep time, you know?
Yeah. Well, maybe that actually brings me on to one of my topics.
Yeah,
One of
because you've got a lot of
Winto's
topics.
Hot topics. Do you want? I could go into that, but get a bit of drummy business out of the way.
Well, hence the name of the podcast, which probably started it.
But you know, right. So we've spoken before about having a gig and then it gets cancelled last minute, and then how quickly you adjust to being like, oh yeah, night off.
Yeah, cool.
And then the
yeah.
thought of actually doing that gig repels you, even though 30 minutes ago you were well up for driving to Leeds.
Yeah.
Well, I had the opposite, George. I had the opposite.
Right.
So I like to have Fridays off
Yeah.
because I tend to work weekends. And I got a phone call to the old studio phone. It goes to my mobile. That surprises people. Oh, I'm just at home. They went, what? Yeah, it's 2025, mate. The tech's there. You phone my landline, it calls my mobile. See, there is no landline. Forget the ADSL line. It's dead. It's digital now, grandpa.
Yeah.
Anyway, phone call. We got a recording studio booked for tomorrow, but there's been a problem and the studio can't do it. Are you available tomorrow? So then I'm there with the dilemma of, well, I had a lovely day off planned. Nothing planned in the day off, but the day off was planned.
Yeah. You're a man who likes to schedule not only work, but rest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big time.
So, yeah. I can
and
see
I will
why.
sometimes, and I have no shame, will in my diary write day off.
Big wank.
Big wank, lunch, nap, big wank.
Go home. That's all at the studio. Right, carry on.
Yeah. And then maybe I'll mix your shit song. I Gotta get the big wanks in. Yeah, it's my process. No, so I was like, cool. What's the deal? And I'm weighing up. You're weighing it up. You're like, it's money. It's money in the tin.
Questions, because you always do this when I do a story, and I quite like it. Do you know the band?
Didn't know the band, but I knew the person contacting me from just having a very good memory of he used to rehearse at the Blacksmiths years ago.
Do I know them?
Nah.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Nah. No one with a good nickname we've given.
No, that's
not wrists. Do you know what I mean?
young man, old band.
Young man, old band. Yeah.
Yeah.
Piss gang.
God.
It's not them.
Piss
gang.
Did I say any more?
I don't know. What were the...
I mean, I remember them. Ginger hair smells nice. That was a good.
Oh
nickname.
yeah, ginger hair smells nice. Little
lesbian
boy.
If you're a band at a studio,
the staff
people
will
working
have
there,
nicknames for you.
They do have nicknames for you. Yeah. Legs.
Legs is the best. That's from your teaching days. Legs. Legs is the best. Oh, what about Wibbly Wobbly Man?
Oh, let's talk about Wibbly Wobbly Man. We will get onto your studio.
Well, what we'll do is we'll leave that there and because it's only going to be like 6 months till I don't have that studio anymore, and then maybe I can sort of, maybe my NDA expires.
Yeah,
then I can talk about it. Actually, not currently. I won't have to see those people yet. Anyway, so he gets in touch. He's like, oh, it's a 5-piece band: drums, bass, keys, 2 guitars, vocals. We want to do 5 songs. They're all old Fleetwood Mac songs, so there's some more like bluesy rock sort of Fleetwood Mac. I was like, okay. And in my head, I'm trying to psych myself up to be like, yeah, I could do a day's recording. I'm obviously going, it's money, innit? Money's good. It's essentially bonus money because this was always meant to be a day off. I'm thinking, fucking hell, 5 songs. It's going to be a push. And I sort of, could have gone, look, I can't do tomorrow, but I can do Saturday or I can do next week or something. Because I like to be able to know what I'm doing to psych myself up for it. So I can go in with a plan as an engineer. I can go in prepared. This is how I'm going to set it up. This is how I'm going to do it. Anyway, so it turns out that 2 of the guys had come from Cornwall.
Oh, wow.
Someone had come down from near London. So it was literally like...
Were they going to be recording in the Portsmouth area? Or?
Well, this is the thing. I sort of said on the phone, I said, what happened, with the studio? And he just went, there was just some miscommunication.
Right.
It didn't seem like he wanted to talk about it.
Right.
I don't know whether that meant it was his fault. But I thought, I'll leave it. So the next day, I did say, when we were actually there, I did say, like, I did ask, where was the studio? And he said, he seemed a bit reluctant, but he said, it was in the Southampton area. Like, okay. And I left it there. Anyway, so it was like, I said, yeah, cool, let's do it. Got him to pay the deposit that night. And then, 10 a.m. So I did a 10-hour recording session that day.
Wow. It
was long. And as an engineer, it was fiddly. It was tricky. So a few of the guys turned up. I knew the bass player and the keys player because they'd rehearsed at the Blacksmiths before. The other guys I didn't know. So this was going to be more of a live setup. Yeah. So I had the drums and the bassist in the live room, and we just DI'd the bass. But I had to set up headphone sends for them and talk back for them. Then in the control room, I had keys with MIDI, 2 guitars, and then a guide vocal mic for vocals and harmonica. The drummer was a bit late because he was coming down from near London, so I was getting things set up, and we got 16 channels. Like maybe, you would like a few more, but so it's a bit of a okay, well, what am I going to sacrifice drum mic wise to? But I got to see what Kitty brings. Anyway, so it was all very last minute, but it was one of those days where I don't know if you've seen this documentary. Maybe I've mentioned it before with I can't remember his name, Steve someone and Dr. Dre, and it's about them creating beats.
Yeah.
Irvine, something like
Irvine sounds right.
Yeah. So he had to go and do an engineering session when he was a T-boy, and he wanted to give up, but he just said like, just stay in the saddle, and it was a bit like one of them days for me.
Yeah. No, wasn't it? If you're on about the day, I think wasn't it Easter Sunday? Are we on about that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
And his mum was like, "You can't go in. It's Easter Sunday. You're Italian."
And he went in, and it was like some big artist, and he had to engineer.
It was John Lennon.
John Lennon, that's it. And he was out of his depth, but he was like, "Stay in the saddle, get through it." Yeah. And I felt I felt similar. Like, just this is tough, but get through it, and you'll be a better engineer for it, and do your best. And and actually, it's a lot of the time you're worried about stuff, and they don't even notice about the technical things. Anyway, it all went really well, but the drummer turned up, and his name was Graham Walker, and he was a fucking legend, right? He was just such a nice guy, I think in his 60s. We just got chatting straight away about drums, and because he was setting his kit up. He had the new Beats,
cool.
He had the same ride as me, actually, the projection, 20-inch projection ride. But anyway, he set up this Mapex Orion kit from the 90s in this custom finish. And he had this brass snare. And he was setting up his gear, and we were just chatting, and really nice guy. And like, this guy's had a decent pro career. And I looked him up afterwards, and he's played with loads of people. But I think the biggest thing was, I'm pretty sure it's Thin Lizzy, one of the members of Thin Lizzy, went solo. Gary Moore, I think it's him. Yeah. And Graham was his drummer.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah, for years.
That's amazing.
So we set the kit up, we sound checked, and it was really to get on with, right? So he also had this brass snare, and I was like, oh, what snare have you got? And he said it's a Gary Noonan. And I think I've heard of that name before, but it's a guy who makes these custom drums. And he was like, yeah, he made it for me. It's like kind of like his version of the Black Beauty, but like way cheaper. And like, so the kit, the Mapex Orion, I think it was a 90s. He said it was a 1990s kit. The finish was custom that they only used to do on snares, but they did on the shells specifically for Graham. So he had this 5-piece kit. The skins looked a little battered, right? But he played it, and the combination of him being a class drummer and his tuning, it sounded phenomenal.
Really?
I think it's the best sounding kit in the room, having just been set up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think like I have to go in and like tune a kit up or assemble bits of my kit or whatever. He just set his rig up and played it. It was like, that is phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't need to touch that,
Yeah.
And anyway, when I got everything mic'd up, we were sound checking and stuff. And the way we did the session was they didn't want to play to a click, but they were happy. They were happy to do it, but they were like, if we can start with a click, and if you can drop it out, and we'll just carry on live, and we want to capture drums, bass, keys as best we can, maybe overdub guitars, overdub vocals, things like that. And like, man, this guy just had such a steady beat, but his playing was just effortless.
Yeah.
And like, the king of the shuffle.
Yeah.
Like that blues rock shuffle. And the interdynamics between his limbs, it was just so good.
Yeah.
And I was just sat there like, he wasn't doing anything like flashy or, know, but he just nailed it. And you're like, yep, that is class.
Yeah.
So that was really like, out of anything, what an absolute joy.
Yeah.
To chat to and engineer and record his drums. Like,
yeah,
in
totally.
the studio. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
So say yes, do the work, and you never know what will happen.
Literally.
And they were nice guys, and I don't know if I'm going to be doing the post-production. They're going to have a think. They're going to see what they want to do, but they were very grateful they could actually record that day.
Yeah.
Have it been
amazing.
Stitched up, but yeah, it was really nice. So I'm going to try and get Graham's number and just
Yeah.
because he doesn't live that far. Maybe see if he wants to come on the podcast.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah. What
Or
were you
at
going to
least
say
we would
before
chat.
you said that? You said get
I
his
don't know.
number. I thought that's where you're going.
No, and like because we was talking about all his gear he's got. He's got loads of drum sets, like old recording customs, and he's got like he said he's got like 3 or 4 Ludwig ML LM 400s and things like that. And I'm thinking I'll have one of them off you if you're looking to get rid of some stuff.
Yeah.
But it's one of those guys, you know, you just start talking and you just get on, you know, you just get on.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it was really fun. Really fun.
No, that's fantastic. Well, I look forward to hearing it. If you want to ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
if we ever
I might
find
just
out
be
where
delivering
it
the stem.
goes.
Yeah. But that was really cool.
No, it's amazing.
I got more stuff for you.
Yeah, go on. What else you
Do
got?
you want me to crack on?
Yeah.
Right. So, do you remember my godfather Roger?
Yep.
So, Roger, was my godfather. I hadn't seen him since I was a kid, but I saw him again at my dad's celebration of life last January. We just got chatting, and he was like, "Oh, I listened to your podcast, and you know, it's helped me get back. It inspired me to get back into playing guitar and things like that." But unfortunately, not long after my dad's thing, Roger was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Right.
And we exchanged a few emails post thing. Like, this was before I found out about the cancer, but he'd emailed in, you know, and I think even I'd read out one of his emails on the show. Unfortunately, Roger passed away over Christmas. And so we were invited to his celebration of life, which was last week. And it was weird. It was weird going. I didn't really know him, but, you know, my parents knew him and his wife, and it was one of my dad's best friends, you know, when we lived in Weymouth, that's where I was born. That's where they met. And it was very interesting being on the other side, because obviously it was only really a year ago I went to my dad's one, and you're sort of not the focus, but you're in the immediacy of it all, but going on the periphery. But I guess in the difference being they'd all had time to process, you know, Roger's passing and his illness, because it was coming, whereas we had the sort of unexpected nature of it. But me and my mum got there. They had a cremation somewhere and at 1, and then a celebration of life at 2, and we were like, well, let's just go to the celebration of life. We'll go to that. Where is it? So I'm sure Roger won't mind me making this slightly humorous out of a dark event. But it was actually somewhere I played a few weddings in Romsey. Kimbridge Barn. Oh, yeah, I played there. Yeah. I know where that is. Yeah. So that was kind of funny and weird, like Saturday going, that's where I set the drums up. There's a side door there for loading in. The band's parked around the side, actually. And it's quite a good venue for that. There's no sound in there. And but anyway, we got there just before 2. And I get quite, not anxious, but I get a bit like, I don't know, you know. We went in. Also, I'm thinking, is this the right place?
Yeah.
Because I play weddings here.
Yeah.
And now I'm here for a memorial. Hi, is this the place for memorial? Yeah. Can head on in. Go in. No one there.
Right.
We're the first people there. Okay, that's fine. We'll get a drink and we'll just sit down, you know. There's tables everywhere. And anyway, people start filtering in. They'd come from the crematorium, and we sat next to this couple, and we were just sort of chatting to them about how we knew Roger and things like that. And I got chatting to the guy, and he was asking about what I did for a living. I said, I play drums and record, and we were having a good chat about that. And then Mum was like, oh, can you go and get me a glass of water? So I was like, yeah. So I got out, but the room was really busy. There was loads of people there. So I squeezed through to get a glass of water from the bar. And as I was coming back, someone went, I think I recognise you. And I was like, well, in my head, I thought, well, I have played weddings here. But then I think, well, what? This isn't like a club people come to, this barn, whatever the event, you know. I was like, maybe. And he went, were you the drummer in Betamax? And I was like, Yeah, I was. Yeah, Betamax. I don't know if I mentioned them was a band.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but go on.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I am. And he was like, I saw you play in Southsea a few times.
Wow.
He was like, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, Roger was my godfather. And he's like, oh, no way. And he went to uni and lived with Roger's son.
Wow.
Was one of his best friends.
Wow.
I was just my mum was like, who was that? I was like, oh, just someone recognised me from being in Betamax. And that was
That's
fun.
mental. Yeah, it's amazing.
But,
well, was it a nice celebration of life?
It was. I think it's one of them where, like, there's a cap on how nice they can be, I guess.
Yeah.
Really. But it was, but we didn't really know anyone there. Like, I'd never met his wife or kids. Mum had never met his kids. But we did briefly, for Mum, I think it'd been like 20 years since she'd seen him. Yeah, it was fine. We had a drink and a bit of food, and then it was like, let's go. But
nice.
So yeah, it's that reason. It was nice, but ultimately while you're there, it's not a nice thing. But anyway, that was quite funny.
Yeah.
Going to a wedding venue I've played a few times, and then someone going, "Oh, you play drums in Betamax?" Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It is funny when you go to somewhere for something else. I think I said before, I used to work at Brighton College, Brighton School, in like the kitchens, and then I had a gig there, and it was all the same staff working there, and it was quite funny because they were like, "Didn't you used to wash up plates here?" I was like, "Yep." And now look at my drum kit, So.
And now look at my drum kit.
Look at my drum kit. Now look at where I am. Yeah. What else you got?
Well, few little things. I think there's been Nam recently.
Oh yeah.
Not Vietnam, not Nam. Back in
No.
'72. But
you weren't there.
No, I wasn't. I think Roland. I've not researched this. You won't be surprised. I've not really researched this. I think Roland are releasing wireless add-ons for their e-drums.
Right. Okay.
So I could turn my VAD kit into a wireless.
Wow.
So the drums connect to the module wirelessly. And I saw a lot of people on the internet talking about it, that because Roland bought DW, and so DW have the DWE kit, which is wireless, and it's like Roland went, we'll have that, so we'll just buy the whole company, and then we can own your tech, and then start. But it should be compatible with current Roland drum kits, so you can essentially stop having to, those big long multi-glooms of cables that you run from the module into the pads. You should be able to just connect these wireless things and then send it into a receiver, plug it in the module.
Cool.
And then your kit's wireless. I saw that. I thought I'd mention it.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
This is funny. I think it's funny. We got Billy, innit?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Kitten. Yeah. One, he started having a real fascination with going into the toilet.
Right.
And so it's like, right, we've got to get him out of there and we'll just keep the toilet door shut. The one time you leave it slightly open, I woke up this morning, I'll go for a wee, go in. Oh, the fucking toilet roll has been ripped and shredded over the whole floor.
Amazing.
Oh, I got to go. This was the morning of actually the recording session I did last minute. I cannot deal with this.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to ignore it, and my partner will have to sort it out.
How many toilet rolls?
Not through laziness. I just had a big day ahead.
Just a big poo and didn't wipe it because toilet roll.
Always spares on the windowsill.
That's
spares.
Well, how many did Billy get? Was it just the
one on the roll?
Okay,
just the
cool.
one on the roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what? That's a constant thing that shouldn't be a thing when you go to someone's house and there's like a little bit of toilet paper left, and then you're looking around the toilet going, where is the rest of it? You know what I mean? I think it should be almost a law, almost mandatory, that if you have guests over, make it obvious where the spare loo roll is. I might not even need it, but I like to know it's there, I've stayed over at people's houses and you get up in the night and, you go to the toilet and you're like, how is this it? How is this it? I think particularly in uni houses where people have to hoard their own toilet roll. You know?
Yeah, it gets very, very Lord of the Flies, doesn't it?
It really does.
Like,
Yeah, it's bad.
How dare you use
Yeah,
a sheet of my loo roll?
yeah. It's worrying. I went to James Gillingham's birthday the other night.
Happy birthday, James Gillingham!
Happy birthday, James Gillingham. He does listen to this, and he was incredibly
Can
kind.
I guess his age? Do you know? Did you know what
Yeah, I
birthday
do.
it was?
Yeah.
Can I guess?
Yep.
30.
Yep.
Was it?
Yeah. There you go.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I'd been out already that night,
Of course you had.
and I went through almost en route back was the pub in which his party was. So I turned up, and I think he was a bit like shocked.
You popped
I was
in.
even there.
You
in.
honoured him with your presence.
Well, here's the tip. If you go to someone's party, turn up, buy him a drink and a shot. Oh, did I buy him a drink? No, I didn't buy him. He didn't want a drink. But I said, we'll do a shot at least, you know? Do a shot. So it's a bit like Jim from The Office, where he stays at something long enough that people remember he's there, but not so long that you're there. So long that you just, you know, delve into depths of depravity. You know, you still get home at a reasonable time. And but yeah, so yeah, I turned up, saw James. He was very kind about the podcast. I won't embarrass him by telling him what he said, but he listens weekly, and he was very complimentary of you. You know, he thinks you're a very consistent man, you know. He liked how you talk about prepping for gigs and stuff, you know. So he enjoyed that. And I was chatting to his mate, who I don't know how much I can say. I won't say anything about it, but him and his mate have a plan for a business.
A drumming podcast.
Yeah. And I asked him to be on, and he's up for being on. And they were giving me loads of ideas for guests. They're like, "You heard of this guy?" You know. So there is a list now. There is a list, boy, of people we'll have on.
Like
all
Schindler.
good people. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Have a box of tissues ready. But yeah, so it's nice to see James, and and saw Lainey as well. She was there, just, you know, nice to pop in for a party, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
think doing something memorable like that, yeah. So you bought him a shot, so you could be like, "Oh, I bought you a shot," you know, even if you're there for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know? Something memorable. I'm just going back to Billy. He uses the litter tray, and he covers it up, and you think, and you know, and then sometimes he don't cover it all up. You're like, that's a bit smelly. Come on,
Yeah.
Billy. And then my partner was like, I can smell. Smells a bit stinky. And I looked. I was like, there's nothing in his litter tray. He'd done a poo in the bath.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of shit in the bath. Don't know why. He's never done it since.
No.
Just
Someone I used to know had the same thing with their cat, but their cat was called Val, like a real human name. And they were like, "Oh, Val's done a shit in the bath," and it was just like, "Who's this mental woman?"
Well, I think Val, but not only a human name, but an elderly lady's name.
Yeah. Is that
given the state of
elderly
continence of some of the elderly generation, quite easily could have been that Nan shat in the bath.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
you get the Febreze, Nan shat in the bath again. Get the Glade. Sorry, fuck. Misquoted.
But pooed in the bath. It's great.
Yeah,
you know. But
I'm trying to think of what else I've got to talk about.
I've got something we can wrap up with if you want.
Yeah,
if you
go
want
on.
to keep
then.
this a sweet 30.
Yeah, keep it a sweet 30, because whenever we record next, I feel like I'll have a lot to talk about, because this weekend is Icebreaker.
Yes.
And a rehearsal, and there's something else going. Like, there's a lot going on. So yeah, go on. Let's wrap it up.
Listeners, I need your votes. So it's the inaugural Portsmouth Music Awards.
Oh yeah.
Don't know why they're doing this or whatever, but it's fine. It's cool. Happy to be involved. So my studio, the old Blacksmiths, has been nominated for Recording Studio of the Year. and good friend of the show, Neil, has been nominated for Producer of the Year. So voting is open. So you go to portsmouthmusicawards.com/vote, and there's loads of different categories. But if you fancy going on there and popping a vote for the old Blacksmith Studios, for Neil Elliott, and also our friend Archie Mack is on there, I think, for Indie Artist of the Year. Give him a vote as well. We'll put the links up in a post. It's nice to be involved. I'd be lying if I said I didn't want to win, because, yeah.
Who doesn't want to win? I can't think of anything I wouldn't want to win,
Yeah. And I just imagine me doing the Joey bit from Friends, which you probably don't know about.
Nope.
Where he's up for an award and then he practices his losing face.
Yeah.
But then in reality he's going...
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Well, it's like at those award shows. Apparently at award shows, the camera isn't zoomed in. It's like right on their face, when it's like, and the actor for whatever. And it's like if they lose and they have to very much be like, might be the one time they've ever been nominated, as opposed to being like, oh, for fuck's sake,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, if you fancy voting, that'd be very nice.
Yeah.
I don't know when the deadline is. I don't really know what's going to happen. But it would mean a lot if you'd vote, because we do good work. It's been a very challenging business to run for the last 13 years.
Yeah.
And especially Neil, Neil does such top work, and any recognition would be greatly received. So we'll put the link and stuff on that. Thank you. You voted, George, haven't you? You must have seen that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, I'll
good.
vote today. Yeah. Yes.
But it's fun. There's loads. It's that thing you could, I guess that natural reaction is, I don't want to chase votes. But if you don't, then you might as well not be in it.
Yeah.
So,
someone's going to win.
Heart on the sleeve, pride on the shoulder, poo in the bath. Give us a vote. It would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, George. Been a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I ain't got anything else. I've just been going to CrossFit a lot on the advice of Elliot. CrossFit, practice drums, cycle.
It looks like you've been working out, you've come home, you've had a shower, you're in your dressing gown.
I'll tell you the truth. That isn't the truth,
You got up at 9:25.
Yeah, this is the...
Bowl of porridge, quick wank, podcast.
I've been hitting it hard. And
that's Tuesday.
No, of course not. I didn't have any porridge. This morning I was like, I really probably need to sleep a little bit. I've been hitting it hard. I work till midnight, cycle home, wake up, go to CrossFit. And I was like, just go to CrossFit in the day. So I'm booked for 12:15. So yeah, admittedly, I did wake up about 9.
Sleep is important, people.
It is important, especially if you're hitting it as hard as I do. I've been cycling in this storm,
if you're too tired and you do a workout, it's just going to be less effective, isn't it?
Exactly.
You've got to be fresh mentally, physically, and the other one spiritually.
The other one. Imagine a yoga instructor saying that. Right, get in touch with your body mentally, physically, and the rest and all that.
And the other two.
All the big ones.
Here's one leg, and here's the other two. That is niche. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Drum and Drummer. You can find us on Instagram at Drum and Drummer Podcast. And you can send us an email to drumanddrummerpod@gmail.com. Remember, just pick up the sticks and twat it.